Hey everybody, your best friend, my brother from another mother, the Ayatollah of rock and rolla, is back this week. Say hello to the conquistador, Dave Height.
Hello to the conquistador, Dave Height.
No, you do that at the end.
Oh, okay.
You don't do that now.
I'm back.
Of course, as you know, due to rock and roll excuses, Dave had to miss out on taping last week, so he is back. We are in full force again.
And are we pissed off?
Yeah, this is not
a kinder, gentler episode, kids.
Yeah, this is going to carry over probably to the weekend edition, too. The post-election weekend edition.
It's an early Festivus. We got grievances.
But I think I know where Dave's going to go with this. And who his anger and his rage. Usually it's me. But most of it now will be focused on the Chicago Bears. As, of course, we start off each and every episode here in the late fall, early winter months. This, of course, taping on November the 13th will drop early on the 14th. Dave, how you feeling about them Chicago Bears right now?
Fucking retards.
Why don't you recap for the kids all the great stuff that's happened over the past week?
Starting with the abysmal loss to the lowly Patriots on Sunday. An absolute shit show in every phase of the game. Special teams sucked. Defense sucked. Offense non-existent.
The 9 sacks. You forgot the 9 sacks.
Yeah, 9 fucking sacks given up. Now, a couple were on Caleb being gun shy. Because he's fucking being coached to be a game manager instead of being who he is, which is a game winner. Fuck Eberflus. The asshole has no clue how to coach. I'm done with his stupidity.
Oh, but they fired Shane Waldron as offensive coordinator.
Yeah, they got part of the firings right. Waldron was a disaster. Obviously didn't know how to coach. Now, you're seeing everybody bringing up old headlines out of Seattle where Pete Carroll was saying, yeah, we've got no creativity on the play calling. We're not going downfield enough. We're not taking any chances. Gee, where does that sound familiar from the last 3 fucking weeks?
And so passing game coordinator Thomas Brown will take over, and everybody's all up in arms about that because
he was the offensive coordinator for the Carolina Panthers last year in that debacle season. Now, some are saying kind of cutting him some slack because, yes, he was a coordinator, but he wasn't really calling the plays. We'll see what happens. At least he sounds like he's taking charge. Waldron always sounded like, "Ooh, okay, I guess this is what we'll do." No command at all.
What did I ask you as we were prepping? Now, Dave and I don't prep everything because we like some spontaneity.
Yeah, we had some discussion about this crap.
What is the rule? Where is the unwritten rule that says that the Bears can't go out right now and get a Bill Belichick or a Chucky Gruden or a Mike Vrabel right now? Pay him, fire him for half a season. We're hiring you for 6.5 years. Get a feel for the organization. This would be a huge jump on every other team.
Why can't you do it?
We can't do it. We're going to let Matt Eberflus destroy Caleb Williams.
We don't make changes halfway through the season. You have an opportunity to bring in a solid head coach, a real head coach, someone who knows how to lead Oh my God!
Who are we afraid of upsetting? All the little coordinators on Matt Eberflus's staff? Fuck them! Fuck them!
Do you really want anybody associated with Eberflus left with this team?
And if you bring somebody else in right now, they will say, you got 3 months to earn your keep. You got 3 months to show me right now what you're made of.
Should
you want to stay on this staff? Prove it to me right now. You bring in the alpha male, the alpha dog dictator right now. But of course the McCaskies won't do it because we don't like cursing and swearing. And Kevin Warren and Ryan Poles, oh my God, they know what they're doing. They're such nice guys.
Yeah, no, Ryan Poles, this is all on you. You hired this dip fuck Eberflus to come in. How in the hell did you allow Waldron to be your OC when you hired Brown? Brown interviewed for the OC position as well, and you had him as passing coordinator. He wasn't good enough at the time? What the hell? This is ridiculous.
Bad organizations perpetuate themselves. It's a cycle, a constant. Look at the Jets.
Yeah, and where's your
Look at the Panthers. Look at the Dallas Cowboys right now.
Yeah. Bad ownership leads to bad decision after bad decision. And where the hell is Kevin Warren, the Bears president?
Who's supposed to be the heir apparent to the great and glorious Roger Goodell?
Oh, he's worried about building a stadium and watching the cranes fly over the Chicago skyline. Fucking dipshit.
So the one final game that we thought the Bears could win easily this year, they get blown out and embarrassed
by the frickin' Patriots.
So now they're 4-5 with no hope for a win the rest of the season.
No, they
People are joking. People are joking right now that the Bears could get the number 1 pick again.
There's a damn good possibility they could.
They go 4-13.
And you take the best fucking left tackle you can get.
It's just amazing to me. How long can you live off of 1985? How long can you can't keep referring to 1985. You've got to at some point move forward and create a new dynasty, a new franchise. You can't just keep saying, well, we had the greatest team ever in 1985.
Yeah. How about we try and do it again?
Even Jets fans aren't this stupid. The Jets fans back Super Bowl, 3?
Yeah.
When Joe Namath predicted they would win? They're living off... No, they don't even care about Joe Namath anymore.
No, they're just languishing in misery.
But the Bears, no, we had 1985. We were the greatest team of all time in 1985. Yeah.
Sick of it. Sick of it.
Yeah, and back then, you know what? The Commodore 64 was the greatest computer and video game ever.
What does that fucking tell you people?
Hey, at least out of our teams, you got 1 win this week.
Oh, my God.
You got a win this week.
Yes,
with the Dolphins.
The Dolphins actually pulled off a win.
With the defense. The
defense actually finally showed up. Made some big-time plays. I don't know what the hell's going on.
I don't either, because that team is weird. It is weird.
I guess they're soft.
Yeah.
According to a former player.
Does that shock you?
No, it does not with McDaniel.
Yeah.
No.
I see him come up to the podium with his gelled up hair. He's reeking a pot.
God.
And the last 2 weeks, you have been at full strength. I'm not saying you.
No, but the Dolphins have been full strength.
Right. You have had Mostert and A-Chain in the backfield. You have had Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle and Tua. And the offense, even though they won this one, has been pedestrian.
Is it Tua's trying to get his feet back under him?
I don't think it's Tua almost got another concussion this week.
I know, trying to make a freaking tackle. What the hell are you doing, you moron? Good God.
I give him credit. He is a man. He's a
baller.
Yes.
But dude, you gotta stop putting yourself in harm's way like that.
But there's something wrong with the team. Now they're 3-6 technically. If they could run the table or come close to it, get back into the playoff hunt.
Back in. It's gonna take.
Well, they're gonna have to beat the Bills. Obviously, you can beat up on the rest of the division, but it's gonna boil down to beating the Bills.
That's not gonna happen.
But the thing that bothers me with the team is they're at full strength.
Yeah,
and they're 1-1 at full strength.
There's something that's off.
Jalen Waddle doesn't look good. Now
he never looks good.
I think he's overrated. I think he might be the most overrated player in the NFL.
Waddle is the new Odell Beckham Jr.
I watched the beginning of that game, and he caught the 2 big passes on the first drive, and I thought, here we go. He's going to have a monster game.
No.
Caught one more pass.
Yeah.
One more pass the entire game. The 3 quarters.
Yeah.
And Tyreek Hill did nothing. And even A-Chain didn't do anything.
I don't know what the hell they're doing. You're not using your big playmakers. And that makes no sense.
And I heard a lot of people praising Tua after the game, saying his passing, it looks phenomenal. He's hitting his guys in stride, where they need to be, when they need to be there. Something is just off with this team. And maybe the soft comment is right.
Yeah, it's looking that way. And that's a lack of leadership, which is what we have in Chicago.
But you're stuck with your lack of leadership.
Yes, God.
My Buccaneers also have a lack of leadership, but I don't think Todd Bowles has lost the team yet. I just think
he just doesn't have any players.
He needs to get Mike Evans back. That's the big thing. We got the bye week now. Buccaneers are 4-6. They're not out of it yet.
No.
And I'll explain that when we get to our picks.
And they're still being competitive.
Baker Mayfield's a man. Baker Mayfield is a man.
Is the shit.
He did not have a great game this past week, but he is still a fighter, a competitor. He's been through the trenches. He has been cast out, told he's a loser in Cleveland. We don't want you. That's fine. Now what you've created, the Buccaneers will reap the bounty from. And that's what I love Baker Mayfield right now. I love him. I hope the Bucs keep him till he's done.
And again, a crap organization tried to ruin a good quarterback.
And the Bucs are actually a very good organization.
They are. And now you're seeing Mayfield as a good quarterback rising up to what he can do.
Listen to an interview on Monday from a guy who doesn't usually do Buccaneers games, who did the Buccaneers game on Sunday when they played San Francisco.
Yeah.
Lost by a field goal, right, at home. He said, I am telling you, Buccaneers fans want Jon Gruden back. They hate Todd Bowles, and they want Jon Gruden back. That's how beloved Jon Gruden is in Tampa, and that's how much he is going to be in demand now that he's got his name back out there again. Now, the rumors are, could there be some things going on behind the scenes with the great and glorious Roger Goodell?
Is he trying to blackball him still?
Sabotage?
More than likely. It wouldn't surprise me.
Hey, give us the heat. I'll tell you right now, Roger, I've been trying to defend you for years. Fuck you. I'm done with you. I'm done with you and pushing the game overseas. That's all you seem to care about. You don't care about the fans in America. So leave Jon Gruden alone. Let him coach. You come after Sports Frenzy. You come after us.
Yeah. The Maestro's been defending you for well over a decade. I've wanted your stupid, sorry ass out.
I'm done.
You are useless. You are pathetic.
You have sold our game out overseas, and now you want to go, the 8 games overseas next year?
Shut up. Just shut up.
Leave Chucky alone. Let Chucky reign, wherever it might be. Hopefully, God, could the McCaskies ever please
They're
come
not
to their
that
senses?
smart.
Jesus. Jamie, our 9th unofficial member, sent us a great picture this week of Jon Gruden wearing the Bears color. Like, oh, God! Oh, God!
If only.
What are you doing to me? Oh, my God. I would just... If he won a Super Bowl for the Bucks and he won a Super Bowl for the Bears... I will have every wall of our studio covered in Jon Gruden. Right now, I've got him up there. His book is up there. He's part of the ensemble here in the studio, but he will dominate everything if he could win for both the Buccaneers and the Bears.
Wallpapering in Gruden.
Oh, my God, yes. And plus, what people, I don't know if we've ever brought it up, he's from here.
Yeah, he's from our area.
He's 2 years older than me, and I went to high school with him. This is what you people don't understand. He's from our neck of the woods. There's principalities involved.
Exactly.
All right, so the Buccaneers lost 23-20. Dolphins win 23-15. Bears lose 19-3. Now, we talked about Tua trying to tackle people, which is not a good idea. With the Buccaneers game, all-world left tackle Tristan Wirfs has an MCL sprain. Hopefully, maybe we see him back after the bye week, because that's just going to be another problem for Baker Mayfield to deal with. But now, I do want to bring up something that went on during that Buccaneers-49ers game. Deebo Samuel, who I think is one of the
overrated players in the league.
Thank you. If he's not hurt, he's not doing shit on the field.
Yep, you talk about somebody who takes plays off.
Yeah, he's got the balls after a bad day for kicker Jake Moody to go over to the sidelines.
To get in Moody's face.
And then basically take a swing at him and the long snapper, Tabor Pepper.
Yeah, he grabs Pepper by the throat when Pepper comes in to defend the kicker. And he doesn't have any of that with Samuel. Shoves Samuel away. Again, fucking prima donna wide receiver.
And I'm hearing that a lot lately.
Freaking diva.
Over all the media. People, teams, the media, we're all getting sick. Fans, we're all getting sick of the prima donna. We've got Dallas. We're CeeDee Lamb. Put a curtain up because I can't see the ball because of the sun.
Sack up. DJ Moore, a couple weeks ago, walking off the field in the middle of a play.
But again, notice the pattern between those three we just mentioned. Deebo Samuel, DJ Moore, CeeDee Lamb. All just got paid. So they can do whatever they want now because it's all guaranteed.
I expect that out of Lamb. I expect that out of Samuel. I never expected to see that out of DJ Moore.
I agree.
I am very disappointed in Moore.
Yep. And that's why I'm saying the Bears need to bring in an alpha dog to tell DJ Moore, I don't give a fuck how much money you're making.
I don't care if you tweaked your ankle on that cut. You finished the fucking play.
And the Bears, again, the McCaskey family won't bring in that man. And that's what's frustrating as a Bears fan. And I know there are other fan bases out there. The Jets are doing the same thing. The Jets fans are doing the same thing the Bears fans are doing right now, and hoping that we can bring in Jon Gruden.
Giants have got to be looking that way too.
But Aaron Rodgers says, "Oh, I think I'm going to play next year." Jon Gruden's not taking him on.
No. Anybody who goes in there will dump his stupid ass. Nobody wants to deal with Rodgers.
But that's another team.
Egomaniacal.
That's another team where they've all quit.
Yeah, they're done.
Jets fans are revoking Sauce Gardner's nickname. They won't call him Sauce anymore.
No.
Because it's too cool of a nickname for the way he's been playing.
Yeah, it should be shit.
And then we got Carolina, of course. At least Carolina the last couple of weeks has shown a pulse.
Yeah, they've shown a little bit of fight.
Dave Canales and Bryce Young have at least won a couple games.
And then you have the train wreck in Jacksonville continuing.
Which, that I still don't understand. When they brought in Doug Peterson, I thought, they're going to be fine.
Yeah,
Shad Khan's going to pay money. He's going to bring in top free agents. They're going to be fine. They drafted what we thought was well with guys like Travis Etienne and Trevor Lawrence.
Guess what? Busts. And they just fucking overpaid for Lawrence for no reason. He showed nothing, and he's getting $50 million.
The one thing I will say, though, comparing the quarterbacks to the wide receivers, I think Trevor Lawrence, this will weigh on him. Now, does he use it to motivate himself with the next head coach?
We haven't seen him motivated since he got drafted.
Yeah, but it's not like he's being an asshole like an Aaron Rodgers.
Right. He just doesn't know what the hell he's doing.
He's trying. He just might not be a top shelf NFL quarterback.
He might be a career backup.
But they have tried to surround him with talent, a la Chicago. At least they had a Super Bowl. This is what we wanted the Bears to do. If you'd have told me a couple years ago, we're going to give you Doug Peterson as a head coach. Fucking hallelujah! Thank you.
Take it.
Now would you take him? Yeah, now would you take him?
No.
This is the weird, wild, wacky world of the NFL, where things change and shift every day. All right. Let's look at last week's games, the ones that we haven't covered yet. And we started off last Thursday night, November the 7th, with a doozy.
Damn, this was almost a track meet.
It started my week of hell! You laugh! He laughs at me! Your Uncle Dave laughs at me, and he knows why. And he drinks his beer, and he won't say anything. But you will explain to the kids why this started my weekend from hell.
He and I faced off in fantasy football this past weekend. Between Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase, I ended the night with just over 89 points between the two of them. Just over 33 from Burrow and just over 55 from Chase. Almost 294 receiving yards, 3 touchdown receptions. Yeah, it was a good fantasy night.
It's the equivalent of getting in the sack with the girl of your dreams, and she looks down and goes, "Is that all you got?" I'm already in the whole 90 points before I even get a chance.
But it was the foreshadowing Wednesday night before the concert. When we were talking, we said, "Oh, what was it you said? Oh shit, I'm playing you this week in fantasy, aren't I?"
Yeah. And they still lost. The Bengals still lost
by 1 to the Ravens.
35-34.
Oh my God. Ah.
I don't know what to make of the Bengals. All I know is I had no hope. And they should have taken some solace in that. In that I didn't have to worry about my lineup. What did I care? But we have to score as many points as possible.
That's right.
For tiebreaker purposes. So
yes, because right now the elder statesman and I are tied with the same record. But I'm in the lead because I have over 100 points more scored than he does at this point.
Yeah, you have, I'm telling you, you have figured this out. Over the last 3 years, you have figured out the fantasy football thing. You are dominating right now. You're looking at
I'm on a decent run.
You're looking at going back to back,
barring anything
winning
stupid.
the plate of greatness yet again this year.
Barring anything stupid happening.
And I was watching that miserable Sunday morning game between the Giants and the Panthers because, I had both running backs. How pathetic am I and the thing is they both did great. They both did great.
They both did
Chuba
well.
Hubbard and Tyrone Tracy both did great. And in a normal week, I would have been like, hey.
Yeah, I'm in this.
I'm like, look at him. I got no chance. I got no chance. What the hell am I celebrating? And then the rest of it was
that is the once in a season game that happens.
Yeah, I told you now this week I got to go up against Nick, who hasn't been all that great, but because he didn't have CMC, now he's got him back, and he's got Puka Nacua, who I just missed out from him on the waiver wire. So I'm going to get screwed again because I got everybody else, all the Tampa players on a bye. I got nothing. Nothing. I'm going to break my streak. I've never missed the fantasy football playoffs in Sports Frenzy. This is going to be the first year. I can't take it. I can't take it. Oh, my God.
Shit happens.
Oh, God. So, of course, we mentioned the Sunday game.
Yeah, the Panthers in overtime get by the Giants.
The final international game, so no more 9:30 football, which sucks. I do love my 9:30 kickoff. Yep, I do love it. Even if it's a shitty game like the Giants and the Panthers.
Oh, God.
Oh, the Colts. What are the Colts doing? Okay, the Colts get beat by the Bills. Not shocking, but now the reaction.
Overreaction?
Today, as we tape on the 13th, just a few hours ago, Joe Flacco's out again.
Nope.
And they're going back to Anthony Richardson.
Anthony Richardson's back to starting, and he will be the starter the rest of the season. He's taken these 2 weeks and
Didn't they say that
learned.
about Joe Flacco 3 weeks ago?
Yeah, they did. Again,
They're like politicians.
You have
They're
a
like
useless head
politicians.
coach who doesn't have the balls to stick by anything.
They're like politicians. They promise shit, and then 3 weeks later, they back off on it.
Yep, that's what you get. Ugh.
And I dumped Josh Downs on all my fantasy teams. He's been very solid, 13, 14 points per week with Joe Flacco. Done. Out.
Well, Richardson won't throw to him.
Richardson can't throw it in. The
can't hit
cliche,
anybody.
he can't hit the broadside of a fucking board. He's worse than Caleb Williams.
For different reasons.
Oh my God.
Oh. How are the fucking Chiefs undefeated?
I don't know. I was
Why
so
do all
excited.
these damn teams keep letting them off the fucking hook?
I was so excited when I saw the Broncos were in field goal range to kick the game-winning field goal. And I was like, oh my God, Sean Payton. Everybody hates Sean Payton. I love Sean Payton. Like Sean Payton is going to be the one. Sean Payton with his rookie QB, Bo Nix, is going to do it.
Why the hell did the Bears hire Sean Payton? Why didn't they kick off Eberflus last year and hire Payton?
The Chiefs block the last-second field goal, the chip shot. What was it, 35 yards?
Yeah, they managed to get the block. Are you fucking kidding me?
So once again, the Chiefs escape. Although I find it very funny that now we hear that Mahomes and Kelsey...
homes were broken into back-to-back. Wow.
I shouldn't laugh at that.
No.
But somehow it's still...
But somehow it's...
You got everything fucking else in the world going for you!
Well, it put their home insurance to the test.
Oh, and the idiot head coach. But the Ruski. Oh, I hate him! I hate him so much! Everybody loves Andy Reid. I hate him. Everybody
Choke on your nuggies!
I hate him! Goddamn, this will be the week. We'll get our picks coming up.
Yep.
This will be the week.
Ugh.
We talked about the Niners edging the Buccaneers in Tampa. The Steelers. Russell Wilson.
Not playing horrendous.
Got to admit, I was a little bit jealous of the Big Blue W jumping out today and grabbing Russell Wilson. Didn't have a roster spot for him, but I wouldn't have minded having him.
May have to start playing Pickens a little bit.
Yep. And Mike Tomlin might not be the greatest head coach of all time, but God
he's
damn.
a smart coach.
Every year he takes what he's given and he just makes it work.
He does. He winds up with a winning team that will make the playoffs or be on the board.
I got Justin Fields looking okay, winning games for us. Nope. Russell Wilson.
Now he's healthy.
Mr. Unlimited. He's fine now. So we're going to bring him back. Everybody goes, what the hell are you doing? They look 10 times better. They look 10 times better.
It's working.
Yep. So now they come back and they beat. I still think Jaden Daniels is overrated. And this is not the bitterness about the Daniels Williams comparisons, but I think everybody's going a little bit overboard with him right now.
Yeah. Oh, MVP. No, he's not the MVP.
No.
Sorry.
And the Steelers proved it going into Washington, beating the Commanders 28-27.
And if the Bears would have had an offensive coordinator or a head coach worth of anything, they would have won that game in Washington.
Well, everybody's pointing at that game saying that destroyed the team.
Fucking Hail Mary.
That is the one
Eberflus not watching what was going on the field. You had to have Caleb Williams run over and point out that Stevenson wasn't paying attention. And by the time Eberflus said, what? The play was already in and he couldn't call the timeout.
Everybody in the media across the country is pointing to that one play and saying that destroyed the Bears' season.
The final two plays, the one that let him get in range to throw that pass and did not call a fucking timeout before to make sure everybody was on the same page with what they were going to do.
It's amazing. One play. How one play can destroy an entire franchise.
Well, yeah, because you lose confidence in your coach. Your coach blew that game on that final Washington drive.
And I'll go right back to what we said 15 minutes ago. Why can't you fire the head coach mid-season and not promote the coordinator, bring in an entire new goddamn full-fledged head coach and say, you take over, nobody's going to hold it against you what happened second half of the season.
Nope, evaluate.
But we want you now. We don't want to play this courting game.
No.
We want you right now this second.
We want you in. We want you evaluating and making plans for next season.
Why is that such a bad thing?
It's not.
Why is that taboo? I don't understand this.
Because it makes sense.
Yeah, because you and I got to be fucking running everything again. I don't understand why you call Jon Gruden, you say, blank check right now. Get in here, you evaluate what we've got. We're not going to hold the last 7-8 games against you.
No.
You do what you want to do, but we're giving you a head start on next year.
Yep.
That's year one for you. But we'll still pay you. No,
Yeah.
these idiots don't know how to do this.
Ryan Poles has got to have enough confidence in himself to take the criticism that he fucked up that offensive line. You should not have gotten Keenan Allen.
And the Bears aren't the only team I'm talking about.
Oh, I know.
The Jets could do this.
Yeah,
the Cowboys could do this.
Why doesn't anybody do it? Because, traditionally we don't do that. Fuck tradition. Buck the system. Be a trendsetter.
Sure you want to say buck the system?
Yes.
I know. You're being nice.
I am.
And speaking of the Cowboys, yeah, I guess that Cooper Rush thing is not going to work out. Dak Prescott done for the year with that hamstring
There's
injury.
your $60 million man who couldn't win shit this year, and now he's on the IR.
Yep. Well, here's the thing, and the criticism goes to the Bears as well. And we brought this up in the preseason for the Bears. Where the fuck is the front office, Mr. Poles,
Ryan Poles,
to get a solid, legitimate backup quarterback, Ryan Tannehill is sitting at home right now. Ryan Tannehill, nobody wants to touch him. Why? Cooper Rush and Tyson Bagent. Come on, you're telling me.
Tannehill's been through it. He would have been good for Williams to talk to.
I am not saying that Tyson Bagent is a lost cause or that Cooper Rush is a lost cause. But
why
you have to have a legitimate
veteran
backup.
presence. You want a veteran presence.
I don't know. And then, of course, I was the fool who, again, last week thought that the Jets would finally get on a run. I sided with the devil.
Again, and it bit you in the ass.
Boy, the Jets looked awful against the Cardinals in Arizona. I mean, awful.
They looked pathetic.
So I can't judge the Cardinals based on that game, but I can sure as hell judge the Jets. However,
wait for this week's picks.
Jared Goff throws 5 interceptions in Houston against the Texans in those god-awful, bright, shiny red outfits.
Oh, those are abysmal.
They all look like Tony Stark. You know? I was waiting for them to start shooting off into the sky with their propulsor rays.
Yeah.
But you let Jared Goff and the Lions off the hook. He throws 5 picks, and they still get a last-second field goal to win.
Amazing, isn't it?
But I will say, as opposed to the Chiefs, the Lions feel, God help me for saying this, more legitimate. Winning a game like this. They feel like they're the team of destiny more than the Chiefs are.
Yes.
Right now.
Yeah.
I like the way, this was a bad game for Jared Goff, but he has been so unbelievably good.
You are going to have a game or two a year.
And he had the one where it bounces off helmets and,
It's going to happen from time to time. It's inevitable.
I wonder about the Texans. The Texans are... the only thing that's working in their favor is they are in such an abysmal division. The AFC South is so
trash.
terrible that the Texans
win by default.
Texans go 9-8. They're going to win by 3 games.
Yeah.
So you're waiting for Nico Collins, again, because you have the greatest fantasy team of all time. You got no Nico Collins. He's just sitting there on IR for you.
Should be back this week.
Could be one more week. Do they really need him for the Cowboys?
If they want to get him back into the game flow, that's the perfect one to do it.
And then Monday night we talked about the Dolphins beating the Rams. So, let's move on to this week.
Oh, Thursday night. Commanders at the Eagles.
This shocks me. Our panel's picks, all 8 picks are in. All 8 panelists.
All 8 of us taking the Eagles.
That shocked me. That somebody didn't go with the Commanders.
I thought about it. I just don't know. The Eagles are starting to play good. They're starting to find their way. And at
the Eagles
home,
are just more talented. I'm sorry.
Yeah, they have more going for them.
The hype for the Commanders is overblown with Jaden Daniels. They need an off season to get him some weapons, get that defense.
Shore it up.
Yep. They'll make the playoffs. They'll probably lose in the first round. The Eagles have been there, done that. Everybody hates Nick Sirianni. I get it. He's not the greatest coach in the world, but for some reason he bumbles and stumbles his way into getting this team to 10, 11 wins every year.
Yeah, and it's the talent that they have there.
Yeah. And it's at home. Why would I pick against the Eagles?
Yeah, exactly.
All right, Sunday, November the 17th, we start off. Didn't we used to do
Game
this?
1 of the shit show?
Didn't we used to have this a couple years ago?
The trash game of the week?
Yeah. I feel like I'm somewhere in my subconscious I've been doing this.
Yeah.
Where I have to pick
The worst game?
Yes.
Yeah, the worst matchups.
So this is it. This is the Sports Frenzy NFL shit game of the week.
The Browns at the Saints. Wow.
Now the Saints showed some life.
They did.
Now, of course, this being the shit game of the week, a little bit more import comes into play considering the new Saints interim head coach, opens his press conference by saying, I didn't know how this day was going to go before their win last week because I clogged the toilet. And supposedly everybody says this guy is a great personality, funny as hell. And so he comes out and tells everybody after they win last week that I thought this was really going to be a shit week because I clogged the toilet before the game. So I can't go against a guy like that.
No, the self-deprecating guy who's gregarious and outgoing. Come on.
Plus, on the other side, the Browns coming in to New Orleans. I know they've had the week off to regroup and rest, but they looked, after 1 week where they looked good, then they looked
they're right
awful.
back to being the Browns.
Yeah. Everybody said, oh, you better watch out for Nick Chubb. And No. Jameis Winston on a revenge game.
They're still the Browns.
Yeah. At home, I take New Orleans.
At home, I take New Orleans. So does... Who the hell else do we have? Bill. And Doug and Aaron are with us with the Saints.
No, Aaron's not.
Oh, no, sorry.
It's split 4-4.
It's 4-4, yes. I was looking at that wrong.
Yep. Kev and Dave, Bill and Doug take the Saints. Sam, Jen and Nick and Aaron take the Browns. So we're 4-4 on that one.
Kind of what you would expect on that.
Yep. Then we move on to the Colts at the Jets. Of course, we told you.
Oh, God.
The Colts, for some ungodly, stupid reason, have decided to go back to Anthony Richardson. He looked really good. He seems like he's learning the last couple of weeks as he's watched Joe Flacco.
So you're going to start him again on the road. Right. Even though the Jets suck offensively right now, I've seen nothing really that much from the Colts with Richardson. To me, this is the Jets defense winning the game.
Agreed.
Jets defense at home stepping up.
This is the old guard sports frenzy. versus the new guard.
Yep. So it's you, me, Sam, and Bill with the Jets. Jen, Nick, Aaron, and Doug take the Colts.
Awesome game. Awesome game.
This should be a doozy.
The Ravens at the Steelers for control of the AFC North.
Ooh.
Even though they have stumbled a couple times, the Ravens are the better team.
Yep, their defense.
Yeah,
They got lit up by the Bengals, but they lit the Bengals defense up. Could be a little more low-scoring game here
than you would think.
So
I agree. But the Ravens are the better team.
Yes.
Now, if the Steelers win this, then I think we have to elevate them. If the Steelers win this game, and it's a home game, it's in Pittsburgh. If the Steelers win this, knocking the Ravens down another peg,
then
I have to,
we have to reevaluate the entire AFC.
Well, yeah, we have to reevaluate the Steelers and the Ravens both.
Yes.
I am still going with the Ravens.
I'm going with the Ravens. So is Sam, Nick, and Doug. Bill, Jen, and Aaron are taking the Steelers.
I'll tell you how much confidence I have in the Ravens. I dropped the Steelers' defense this week.
Wow. There you go.
Their end of season schedule is brutal, and they really haven't put up. You would think it's steel curtain. Everybody's mesmerized by their past. They're good defense, but not a great
but
defense.
Not fantastic.
Yep.
Falcons at the Broncos.
I would love to watch this game. I would love to watch this game.
This would be a very
because
fun
this
game
would
to
tell
watch.
me a lot about the middle of the NFC and the AFC. I want to know how good the Broncos are, almost beating the Chiefs last week. How good are the Falcons? They're kind of cruising through a weak division. They've taken advantage of the fact the Buccaneers don't have all their weapons. I think the Buccaneers are a better team.
When they have everybody.
But they've lost twice now to the Falcons.
Yeah.
So they're screwed. I don't think the Falcons are that good.
Especially on the road, going to Denver. Team from the South that plays in the Dome, going to play outdoors in Denver where the weather's starting to turn and get cold.
Thin air. Kirk Cousins, if he's not playing the Buccaneers, is a very pedestrian quarterback this year. And one of your two main targets is getting taken away by the best cornerback in the league in Patrick Surtain II. So that's probably Drake London. So you're going to have to focus on Pitts and Mooney. You have all three of them, don't you?
I do.
Jesus God.
Which way do I go?
I would never set up a team like that. That shows you how smart I am.
But that's how things felt. I needed to supplement here and there just in case. So I picked up Mooney in case London wouldn't go. And then I had Pitts as my main tight end.
You did that last week, yeah.
Yeah, and then I had Pitts as my main tight end to start the year. But now that Hawkinson's back for Minnesota, boom.
That being said, I like that Broncos defense at home.
I
really do. And Bo Nix is playing well enough where this is going to be a low-scoring game. I think it's going to be like a 2017 game.
17-14.
But
it's going to be a low one.
Sean Payton is going to show Raheem Morris how to coach a team.
Yep, it's going to be a coaching lesson.
Because if the Broncos lose this, that really hurts them. They are in line for that last wild card spot in the AFC. They can't lose this game.
No, but it is a split decision, kids. So the Broncos for you, me, Bill, and Aaron. Falcons for Sam, Jen, Nick, and Doug.
I thought, again, we get some dissension on this one, but I think everybody's expecting the 49ers to start picking the pace up now.
Yeah.
CMC back.
Everybody's there.
Except for
Ayuk. But they have enough to be there to start making their late season push.
That's the guy I went out and picked up. When I heard the news this afternoon about Anthony Richardson taking over as starting quarterback, I dropped Josh Downs, picked up Juwan Jennings. Basically, Ayuk's replacement.
Yeah.
Because I've got to get at least
I saw
guaranteed.
that and I'm like, yeah, all right. I was going to do that so I could have the tandem next week.
I had to find somebody who could get me a guaranteed 12, 13 points.
Yeah.
And Downs can do that with Flacco.
Yeah, I don't trust Richardson to get him the ball.
No, so I had to go get Jennings.
Yep.
And I'm screwed again with T. Higgins. Because if it was a 1 o'clock kickoff, I'd be fine.
You would know.
But he's playing the Sunday night game. So I can't put him in my lineup.
Yeah. I've got to worry about Nico Collins once again.
Here we go, kids. The big showdown.
But it's 49ers across the board. Niners over the Seahawks.
Sorry. I don't mean to dismiss the Seahawks, but we're going to
dismiss the Seahawks. Big game. Chiefs go to Orchard Park to take on the Bills.
We'll be watching this game.
Yes.
In its entirety.
Yes, we will. We have the Bills across the board except for Doug.
How about that? How about that? The entire panel sans Doug taking the Bills because I think we all know
for a fall. The Chiefs are not the great Chiefs team that they had been. They are down. Yet somehow, by the Crossroad Devil deal that Reed pulled off, they've stumbled and lucked their way to being undefeated. They are not running the table for the season.
No. And the Bills have got to look at this like we beat them. Then we're only one game back. One more stumble from them, and we get home field through the playoffs. And the Steelers are looking at that. And the Ravens are looking at that.
Yep. So, big game.
And right now, I think the Bills are the better team. Let's just...
Yeah,
and it looks like Amari Cooper's going to play, too. So they should be at full strength.
They should be ready to go.
And, of course, we're hearing the Chiefs. Oh, Pacheco maybe, and Juju maybe.
No, Pacheco is a couple weeks out yet. He's just starting to practice. He's got to build his stamina back up. He's got to make sure that leg is strong enough.
This is a do-or-die game Sunday. Now, I am going to have fun this Sunday. Except for the Bears game. Except for the Packers-Bears game, which you notice is not on the schedule.
Yeah. There's no reason to put up that one.
But the late game, Bills-Chiefs, and then the Sunday night game. Finally, I get to see Jim Harbaugh's Chargers play a meaningful game on national television. The Bengals are do or die this week. They have to win this game.
Their offense is clicking. They just need the defense to step up. And I'm sorry, the Chargers' offense is not scary.
I agree with you, and here's the thing. Yes, Dave and I both took the Bengals. We'll get to the full picks in a second. This game, the Chargers can lose this game and still be in line for a wild card. The Bengals need this game.
They have to have it to get
this will
anywhere
be the
close.
Game. This will be the game that, number one, redeems the Bengals. They will go on a run here. They will get that final wild card spot. The Chargers, what's going to happen is they're going to have to unleash every weapon they have, which isn't much.
Yeah, there's not a lot there right now.
But they are going to find out how many points they can put up. And they're going to tweak. Harbaugh is going to tweak it. Harbaugh is going to fix it. Harbaugh is going to make it work. He's going to use this as preparation for the playoffs because they're going to get the other wild card. And then these two teams...
They'll meet again.
Possibly.
Potentially, and we'll see what happens.
And Justin Herbert has had a very solid season. Nobody's talking about him because
he's been okay.
He's been used as a game manager.
Yeah, because he doesn't have the weaponry around him.
He has no wide receivers to throw to. Yet he still had a phenomenal season for what he's been asked to do.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm saying both teams will learn from this game. But if the Bengals cannot lose this game, the Chargers can. So the team that needs it more, the Bengals win.
Yep, Bengals for you, for me, for Jen, Nick, and Doug. Chargers for Sam, Bill, and Aaron.
Monday night, who gives a shit? Monday night, who gives a rip-roaring shit? The Battle of Texas is going to be a joke.
Really? Do we even have to say it? Texans at the Cowboys. Texans across the board.
Can I just say one thing, though? This would be typical of the football gods to somehow let Cooper Rush have this great game and
somehow salvage Mike McCarthy.
It's a night game, so there's no sun.
So CeeDee Lamb can't bitch and complain.
Yeah. And you know what they did when Mike McCarthy came out for his press conference the next day? They put a curtain up, a shade up. So the sun wasn't in his face while he was talking to the media.
Pathetic. Brilliant move there, Jerry. Great design for your stadium. They've been talking about that being an issue since it opened. But no player has complained until CeeDee Lamb now. He is the first one to fully complain.
I know. And we've always seen it throughout the years, throughout the decades.
And you know what? You have to deal with the sun no matter where you play.
And I will say this. I remember it in the old stadium. It was the same way.
Yeah, there's nothing different. So just trying to make an excuse for his ineptitude.
We talked about it earlier in the show. CeeDee Lamb's another one. Get paid, complain.
I didn't think he should have been paid that much anyway. I always thought he was overrated.
Where does fiscal responsibility come into play? Football has a salary cap. You have a certain number of players to put under a certain dollar amount.
Yep, and you cannot skimp on any position.
And I'm still shocked. I'm reading stuff about the 49ers extending these defensive players. And they've already extended Ayuk and Samuel. I'm like, you're going to have to pay Brock Purdy here pretty soon, buddy.
Kidding.
You know, what are you going to do here, George? Mr. Lynch?
Yep. You got to pay the Purdy man.
It's going to be interesting. It's going to be very interesting to see how the 49ers pull this off.
Yeah.
Because that's coming, next year? Next year.
Yeah.
All right, moving on to the college ranks. I cannot believe it for the first time this year, Notre Dame is ahead of Miami in the polls. I knew it was coming. I knew that defense. This wasn't really the defense, though.
No, the offense didn't show up. But, come on, you knew the offense couldn't continue to maintain that kind of pace that was needed.
I know. Didn't shock me. Doesn't shock me. So Miami loses to Georgia Tech. drops to 12 in the AP poll, but somehow still the favorite to win the ACC if they win their last 2 games and the championship, as they sit at 9-1. Even though they're 12th in the AP poll, they are only 9th in the new CFP rankings. Notre Dame at 8-1, 8th in both.
Yep.
As they blow out Florida State. Boy, Florida State.
They're just bad.
I mean, terrible. 52-3.
And, sorry, as Jamie astutely pointed out,
Our official ninth member.
Yep. Florida State's head coach fires both of his coordinators. Doesn't it start with him?
I think the thing that's saving him is last year. You know, they were so good last year.
But wasn't it with the same coordinators?
But again, you can't go from nearly the top of the mountain to the bottom and then all of a sudden go, nope, you're done. You got to give him at least another year.
Yeah, this is a full-blown everybody screwing this up.
Yeah. Now, the interesting thing about last year, of course, was the quarterback.
Yeah.
Was it Jordan Travis was the one that got injured?
Yep.
By the way, sitting on the bench for the New York Jets right now.
Yeah, waiting.
But the impact that his injury had on that team. And the
Yeah,
voters,
and then everybody
the voters in
decided-
the polls said, no, you lost your quarterback, you're not that good. And they knew.
And
They knew what they were talking about.
Yep. And sure enough. And really, you thought DJ Ungulalele was going to be your savior out of the transfer portal. He screwed over Clemson. He screwed over Oklahoma. And now he screwed Florida State. It's the Ungulalele curse.
He's just not good.
No. You would have thought him going down, giving these other quarterbacks a chance, would have helped, but it has not. They're just inept all over the place.
So the top 4 in the CFP rankings that came out yesterday are Oregon, Ohio State, Texas, and Penn State. Yes.
3 Big Ten teams.
Nah, and 4 of the top 5.
Yeah.
Because
with
IU is 5th.
I can.
But keep in mind, kids, that's not how they're going to be seeded.
No, that's not the seeding.
Oregon will get the number 1 seed. Texas would get number 2. And then, as I mentioned, Miami's probably in line for 3. And then BYU for 4.
Big 12, yep. So it's going to be very intriguing. And is Penn State going to do anything down the stretch? Can IU do anything with Ohio State?
That's going to be a fun game. That's going to be a fun game. I hope it is not a blowout. I hope IU can hang with them.
I would so love to see IU handed to
If
Ohio
it's
State
close,
and Day.
if it's close, IU gets in.
Yeah. Ugh.
Now today, believe it or not, even though we don't have the pomp and circumstance we normally would, and I do believe I read this right, today's National Signing Day.
Does that mean anything anymore?
Interesting story on Yahoo Sports. Now, Yahoo Sports has got some very, very good reporting, and the article I read about this kind of combined the best and the worst of sports reporting. So I'll cover both. The impact of the lawsuit that's all, setting all this in motion, where we have to pay the players. And if you haven't listened to this podcast over the last 3+4 years,
Don't like it.
we've never liked this. Here is what Yahoo Sports today reported on the impact of the legislation that's going to go through. Because keep in mind one thing. You have to adhere to Title IX, which means men's sports and women's sports have to be equal. We're looking at 1,500 football, only football, walk-ons among the Power 68 teams right now. Of course, that is every team in the Power conferences. 1,500 football walk-ons will all be cut.
Ouch.
A total of 3,000 roster spots will be gone in all sports among the Power 68 schools. Again, because of paying the best players more, you have to get rid of the ones on the lower end. And
Which is pathetic.
They're also questioning how this will impact the Olympics. Because the lower tier sports, this is why I brought up Title IX.
Those are all the Olympic sports.
This is why I brought up Title IX.
Swimming.
You cut swimming for the men.
Track and field.
You cut swimming for the women. Yep. So just remember, you people wanted this. You all wanted this. Oh, pay the players. Pay the players. This is what you're gonna fucking get.
And you're going to destroy the depth of your programs. Injuries that come up, you're not going to have anybody that can step in. Because all your walk-ons are gone.
You're basically turning yourself into the NBA. Where you've got 2 or 3 players getting paid top-level money, and then you got nothing behind them.
Yep. So congratulations. You're destroying college athletics.
Just thought I'd bring that up. Just thought I would bring that up. You know, bright, sunny, happy viewpoint from the maestro. Because I've been telling you for years this was going to happen. What did you think was going to happen?
It wasn't going to be sunshine and lollipops, kids.
And this is the other side, the flip side of the reporting from Yahoo Sports, where they go all snowflake on you. And we interviewed these people who their daughter is playing volleyball for, San Jose State.
And now she's not going to get to play anymore.
And not getting a full ride because of all these changes in these rules. Then do something about it. Do like what we do. Get out there and say something and say, this is wrong. Stop paying my school, Cam Ward. Cam Ward has probably gotten more money in his life than I'll ever see before he's even stepped foot on a professional field because of NIL and because of all this bullshit.
It's ridiculous. It's wrong. It needs to end.
We'll get deeper into this later on, I'm sure, kids. So let's move on to football, college football.
Do some recapping from last week.
And as usual with college football, I'm not going to go through every game. We'll hit the highlights here. Lane Kiffin did it, Dave. He did it.
He got the big win. Son of a bitch.
I did not think it was going to happen.
We hoped it would happen.
But Ole Miss knocks off number 2 Georgia last week. 28-10.
Pretty handily.
So now that helps the running Rebs and really hurts the Georgia Bulldogs.
Yep.
Both teams pretty much have to win out.
Oh, Kirby Smart, you idiot.
Well, I think the thing, and this is why I wanted to take Mississippi. Oh, the one player?
Calling his player an idiot for celebrating with Mississippi fans, then finds out, oh, it was his family and friends who surprised him by being at the game.
Yeah.
So, shut up, Kirby. Get the full story before you open your yap.
Well, I think the game itself boiled down to, and this is why I'm not trying to say I made my pick. I picked Georgia. I thought the defense would be better. But the one thing I was worried about was Carson Beck at quarterback for Georgia versus what they've got with Jackson Dart for Mississippi. Big time quarterback discrepancy.
Yes.
And it played out in this game.
That
so
it
now,
did.
Now both teams are in a must-win throughout the rest of the season situation. Both have 2 losses.
Yep. Gonna get interesting.
Deion Sanders wins again.
Colorado keeps rolling.
Is this his last year before he moves on to the pros?
We don't know. Kind of solidifies Travis Hunter as the front runner for the Heisman.
No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. There's a certain quarterback, despite the fact his team lost in Miami, that was setting records this past Saturday. Do not dismiss Cam Ward.
Two-way player.
Brian Kelly. Ooh, questions arise. Now we're seeing articles comparing Brian Kelly and Lincoln Riley. Did LSU and USC
both make mistakes?
As LSU stumbles yet again, as Alabama goes down into Louisiana
and destroys LSU
42-13.
Once again, Brian Kelly cannot beat Alabama.
Notre Dame might have made the right choice with head coach.
They may have.
And then BYU, a lot of people complaining in Utah. Some questionable calls at the end of the game. BYU, number 9, escapes.
1 point win.
In-state rival Utah 22-21.
Egads.
The Big 12 is not strong this year. Let's say that right out out of the gate before we get to this week's picks, because if BYU is the favorite to win the Big 12, yeah. I mean, I know we're not looking at Texas and Oklahoma anymore, but Oklahoma State's a disaster.
Is in a bad way.
Iowa State has stumbled.
Yeah,
Kansas State doesn't look that great.
So there we go.
All right, gonna rip through these real quick because there's really not a lot of good games.
No, not a ton.
Friday night, November the 15th, UCLA at Washington.
Jen's taking UCLA. The rest of us are taking Washington. They're just
it's only a 4-point spread,
which
kind of
surprises
UCLA's been playing a little bit better lately, so this worries me. But I'm taking Washington.
Take Washington at home.
Number 17, Clemson at Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh just dropped out of the top 25.
I have a hard time with Pittsburgh. But Doug's going there. The rest of us taking Clemson.
Number 25, Tulane just came into the top 25. Navy just dropped out.
Yep. Tulane for everybody but Nick and Aaron.
This one worries me a lot.
I know. I went back and forth with this one.
Michigan State's been playing a little bit better lately, and Illinois has stumbled as of late. Jen and Aaron are taking the Spartans. Everybody else cautiously taking the Illini.
Illinois at home.
This is another one that I could see becoming a big upset pick. After we just talked about Brian Kelly, LSU still in the top 25.
How, I don't know with that one.
Yeah, with 3 losses now.
Yeah, there's no way they should be in there.
Number 21, LSU goes down to the Swamp to play the Gators.
I still can't believe in Florida.
I'm with you, but Jen and Nick,
caveat.
Jen and Nick taking the Gators. The rest of us taking LSU. Baylor at West Virginia. Why are you guys so much in love with the Mountaineers? Baylor's favored.
I can't get behind Baylor. I just can't do it.
This is, I think, the only pick you and I the entire weekend are different on, by the way. Honestly, pro and college. If anybody's picked up on that by now, This is the first time we've dissented, you and I.
Yeah, I just can't get behind Baylor.
I'm taking Baylor, so is Jen, so is Aaron. You and Sam, Bill, Nick, and Doug take the Mountaineers. Rutgers at Maryland.
Oh, God help us on this one.
No! We have Greg Schiano on our side.
Yep.
He will come through for us.
You, me, and Bill taking Rutgers. Everybody else going with the Turtles.
We'll see how it goes, but I have faith in Mr. Schiano.
Yep.
This is the one big game of the weekend. The one big game that will impact the college football playoff.
Yep. Number 6, Tennessee at number 11, Georgia.
We just talked about in our recap last week of last week's games and how Georgia and Mississippi now have to win out.
Yeah, this has got to be the bounce back for Georgia. And Tennessee, we've talked about, does not always look good. They have their issues.
This year. Yeah, I thought the first couple weeks of the season they looked stellar.
But then the chinks in the armor started to show.
So we're split among our 8 panelists, 4 and 4. Kev, Dave, Sam, and Aaron taking the Georgia Bulldogs. Bill, no shocker there.
Yeah.
Jen, Nick, and Doug taking the Vols.
Yep. God help us with Iowa State.
Cincinnati at Iowa State. A couple teams who have stumbled over the last few weeks.
Iowa State's got more talent this year, though.
Yeah,
Iowa State at home in Ames.
Yep.
For everybody with the exception of Doug.
Then finally, this is a game that I'm seeing all the pundits, all the prognosticators saying this is a game that is ripe for an upset because of how BYU stole the game last week from Utah.
I was that close to taking Kansas.
The point spread is only 2.5 in favor of BYU at home.
If it was Kansas State, I would have jumped on Kansas State. I don't trust Kansas football.
Nobody does. Across the board, BYU. There you go, kids. There is your football recap of the week.
Boom.
Baseball and NASCAR are up next. All right, there are a lot of you people out there who don't like NASCAR. And you probably get tired of Dave and I talking about it, even though Dave and I have been fans for decades and decades. Well, guess what? This is probably the last week we're going to be talking about NASCAR for the most part.
Until February.
So, hallelujah for you.
Suck it.
Believe me, we have problems. We have issues with NASCAR. And we're going to address a lot of those right now as we give you the recap of the final race and the 2024 season for the Cup Series and beyond.
Yep. So there you go.
But I would like to say, first and foremost, we don't normally do this, but when a sport loses an icon, we don't usually like to wait until moments of silence. The loss of Bobby Allison is pretty significant for NASCAR.
The leader of the Alabama gang.
Yep, one of the greatest drivers in NASCAR history passed away here over the past week. So, of course, we will, as always, say thoughts and prayers out to family and friends. But this is the old school NASCAR, one of the legends.
Yeah. Yeah, he's went through a lot of crap in his life. That monster wreck he had that almost killed him, put him in a coma for a while, significant brain injury, the loss of his son Davey in that tragic helicopter accident. Just a lot of adversity that he's had to weather.
Well, and you just think of what I think of as the forefathers of NASCAR. I think of Cale Yarborough. I think Bobby Allison. And I think it all...
1979 Daytona 500 as they're fighting after that wreck.
Yeah, I think you'll probably agree with me on this. The old school NASCAR, not trying to dig into old wounds, but the old school NASCAR ended with Dale.
It did.
That was it. And everything changed after that.
And not for the better.
And we always say, you always say, I know how much Dale Earnhardt meant to you, but you always say,
NASCAR would
he would never put up with
shit.
He would never put up with 3/4 of the shit they pull now.
No, they would not be pulling over half this stuff if Senior were still around. He had the ear of the France family. For whatever reason, and he stopped a lot of shit that they tried to do back in his time as a driver. And this charter system would not have flown.
And I think we're starting to see a lot of chinks in the armor here. And we'll get into that more in a few minutes. But I think that's why I wanted to bring up Bobby Allison's passing here, as we're going to talk about the end of the NASCAR season, as opposed to at the end with moments of silence, is because this could be the last of the old school legends.
You've still got Richard.
Yeah, that's true. Richard Petty's still out there. I'm sorry. The old cowboy hat. But even he, I mean, he's kind of let a lot of this slide.
Yeah,
he
has not been the vocal advocate for the drivers that he should be.
That's what I was going to say.
For the drivers and the owners, he really has needed to step up over these last couple years with all this crap that they're pulling, and he's been nowhere.
That's what I think that's why this Bobby Allison, losing him, closes the door for me. Is Richard Petty. I know he's got all the records, and he's, in many ways the face of NASCAR now, but what has he really done? He basically let Jimmy Johnson take over Legacy Motorsports, Richard Petty Enterprises, and turn it into Legacy Motorsports.
Yeah, he let himself get pushed out.
Yeah. I'm not trying to rip on the great one, but all right. So let's hit some headlines before we get to the final race of the year. Let's talk about Martinsville and how NASCAR decided we ain't F1. Kudos to them.
Yep, we are not playing this team rules or manufacturer rules here.
Bubba Wallace, Ross Chastain, Austin Dillon, all $100,000 fines, 50-point penalty. Driver and team, one team executive, crew chief, spotter for all three teams suspended for the season-ending race at Phoenix.
Yep, for trying to manipulate the outcome of the race.
And then I think the only one that actually tried to appeal was Chastain, his owner.
Yeah.
The other two bowed out and said, nope, we'll accept the penalty. 23-11, of course, other things going on there.
Yeah. Although Trackhouse with Chastain... Or no.
No, front row.
Front row, that's the other one with the... Yeah.
Trackhouse was the one that appealed and let their appeal go all the way through and was rejected. RCR and 23-11.
They just accepted it and moved on.
Yeah, we've got all the issues going on with... We'll update that as we go through till the end of the year with 23-11 and front row and the charter.
They were just denied by the federal judge.
And
the
they've appealed
injunction.
that.
Yeah.
And they've appealed the injunction.
So,
The ruling on the injunction. So
yeah, so they were denied the charter during all of this crap. They've appealed it, so we'll see what happens. The charters they need to be done. This is a monopoly. Pure and simple. Always has been.
then, of course, a couple things that should come as no surprise to anyone, as we have discussed them on and off over the past 6 or 7 months. FedEx is officially now out as a sponsor at Joe Gibbs Racing.
Yeah, they need to focus the money on making sure packages get delivered in a timely manner. Instead of tracking your package from FedEx, seeing it come to your city, leave your city, go to 3 other cities before finally coming back and then getting delivered to you. Not
What?
kidding, kids.
Dave, what are you
Not
talking?
kidding.
That's not how it works. That's not how it works.
It is for FedEx. I've personally watched 3 different orders of mine over the years go through that route. It's pathetic.
I'm joking. I'm being facetious. He's absolutely right. I've seen the same thing with mine. Then, of course, we mentioned Richard Petty and Legacy Motor Club. Jimmy Johnson's going to come back again.
Why?
He's going to run select races in the 84 car
Why?
in 2025.
Why? He wasn't competitive.
From what I read, it seems like he thinks that he's doing the team justice as kind of a test car out there.
It doesn't do any good. It's pointless. It's an ego
It's awful
trip.
for the fans. It's awful. Why do
it's
you put a car out there?
It's damaging his legacy as a driver. He's becoming a joke.
Know when to hold them. Know when to fold them. Know when to walk away. And know when to run.
Exactly.
All right, awards and champions for the year. Truck Series, your champion is Ty Majeski. Xfinity Series, finally, Justin Allgaier.
Finally gets it.
And then your Cup Rookie of the Year is Carson Hocevar, who really came out at the end.
Yeah,
had some great runs.
He
at the
turned
end.
it on the last part of the season, where
Yep.
he showed what he can do. It took him most of the season to adapt to the Cup car.
Yep. So that leads us into the recap of the championship race for the Cup Series at Phoenix Raceway. Pole sitter Martin Truex Jr. in his final race as a full-time driver. And one Joey Logano wins his 3rd Cup championship, finishing 1-2 with his teammate Ryan Blaney.
Yep. So, and Logano had a pretty dominant race. He was up there the entire time. Won stage 1, finished 2nd stage 2, and got the win.
Yeah, Tyler Reddick was the one that really was never in contention.
Yeah, that was surprising that he just never, that car just was not there.
Yep. Funny thing, though, start of stage 2, held up because the pace car hit the barrels.
Oh my God.
Turned too late.
Turned too late off the stretch to try and get down pit road. Slammed the passenger side into the barrels, protecting the pit road wall. Oh my God. I have never seen that happen. Ever. That was a first.
No. In this world, it doesn't shock me, though. People are so stupid.
Oh my God. I kept waiting. Who was the pace car driver? Because it used to be that cue ball headed fool, Bodine. Brett Bodine used to do it, and then his brother Todd Bodine as well used to be the pace car driver. So I don't know who it is anymore.
But that was really the only really fun, eventful moment of the race.
Otherwise, it wasn't all that from what I saw.
And of course, this is leading into speculation that they're going to tweak the formula again to make it more exciting.
No, just stop. Go back to what you had. The season-long points totals. If somebody wins it 3 races, 4 races before the end, so be it. Stop this chase bullshit. It was a gimmick back when you started. It's still a gimmick. It's a joke. It's a farce. Your diehard fans hate it. It never caught on with your casual fans because it was stupid.
Yeah, when I saw that the ratings for the season were pretty much flat, they'll claim, they were up. They might have been up 1%.
Yeah, that's
overall.
No. Doesn't count.
I don't think this is working. I don't think this is working.
It's a joke.
And a lot of people are mad that Logano won it because they don't think he should have been in it because of the Bowman situation.
Yeah, the whole thing was a disaster.
So
go back to a straight up points.
Of course, everybody will forget about it once we roll around to February and we go to Bowman Gray Stadium.
I will not forget this. I've been harping. I hated this system from when it was introduced.
You and I both did.
Thought it was the dumbest idea ever, and now you're going to fucking mimic the NBA.
You blame a Hall of Famer for this situation. I swear to God, this is what makes me so mad. One of the best drivers ever. You blame Matt Kenseth because Matt Kenseth didn't win enough in the year he won the championship.
It's about consistency. You know what? You almost have it tweaked. Stage points and awarding the win more points. That's how you fixed it. You didn't need this freaking crap that you have now.
I agree. I never liked when...
The chase is a joke.
I never liked when they, in the old school format, would award extra points for leading it halfway. That was just random and stupid. I would like to see them bring back...
Leading the most laps?
Yes, give extra points. I would give a ton of points for leading the most laps.
Yeah, it used to be
10 extra points.
It used to be you got a point for leading a lap, and you got a point for leading the most laps.
Right.
And then it was just your whatever their point drop was.
I would be fine with giving 10 extra points to the driver who leads the most laps.
Give it 5. You get 5 extra. You get an extra 5 for the win.
You dominate
you get an extra
the race.
5 for leading the most.
You dominate
the race. There you go.
That way, at least, if you get wrecked out in the final 20 laps, it's not hurting as much.
Right, and I'm still fine with the stage points.
I am too.
But
I like the stages.
Stop the caution.
Do like the
stop
stages.
The mandatory caution after the stage.
I can live without that.
Stop the mandatory caution. Continue racing.
Well, that to me, I don't know. Because then you're going back to the whole, well, you give a point for leading halfway. So now you're going to do that for arbitrary points in the race. I think you need to tell everybody, we're going to shut everything down. You know you're going to have to pit.
Hate that
if you want to. See, I don't have a problem with that.
I've always had an issue.
But I would think I'd give more points than you. For if you lead the most laps, you dominate the race.
You should
give them 10.
Then
10 points.
Then you got to make it 10 points for winning.
I'm fine with that too. That was their whole mandate here was, we got to give more rewards to people who win races.
Fine, you did that.
But
get rid of the chase.
Don't put somebody who wins a race automatically in the goddamn playoff.
No, that's dumb. That's why.
How'd that work out for Harrison Burton? You wasted a spot in the playoff.
That's
with
why
Harrison
the playoffs don't work. That's why you have to stop the playoffs. Run the points straight through.
Give Harrison Burton the 10 extra points for winning the race. Give him more points.
Fine.
But he still wouldn't have made it.
He still wouldn't have had... He should not have had a chance. Award the consistency.
So congratulations to Sliced Bread.
Yep.
Last question before we move on to baseball. Where does Joey Logano wind up in the pantheon of great drivers? See, I'm with you. I don't... 3 championships.
The chase
I was thinking about this.
The chase is
How is he better
joke.
than Kevin Harvick? He's taking
not.
Kevin Harvick any day.
Straight up.
Right now, he's better than Kyle Busch. 2 versus 3.
Yeah. That's why the chase is a joke. Where you have 4 guys coming down to the final. No, not the winner take all. It used to be fun coming down to the final race where it was about the points. Where, so what if so-and-so won? If the other driver finished second but still had more points on the season, he wins it because he was the best driver over the season. That's who you want as your champion. The best driver over the season. Not in a one-and-done race.
Dave, this is another situation
where we have to run everything.
I think you and I need to work on the off-season here. I think we'll make this a project. We'll do it separately, and then we'll combine our ideas with our podcast audience as witness. As our witness. We'll set up a time, maybe in January, where you and I will
we'll
put
throw
together
the proverbial rock through the window.
We will
of
come up
NASCAR
with a system
headquarters.
between our ideas. We will come together on this podcast during the slow time in January, and we will come up with a new system for NASCAR. I think that is our project for the next few months, to toil over.
Harumph.
Now we have to fix baseball, too.
Oh, God. It's a disaster.
I was worried. As I said that, Dave grabbed his left arm. I'm like, are you stroking out the minute I talk about baseball?
Almost.
Just a couple things here in baseball. Just random. Of course, free agency starts in baseball, and that means nobody's going to sign for 3 months.
Right.
So, what the fuck?
Who cares?
Except for the one that hurts me the most. Except for the one signing that has to be the gut punch for me. Everybody else, Juan Soto and Corbin Burns, all sitting out there waiting with their agents, going to wait till December or January. No, but the one gut punch for me has to happen. Kyle Hendricks, my man, one of my favorite Cubs of all time, the professor, leaves the Cubs, signs with the L.A. Angels.
The Angels?
For $2.5 million. Cubs can't afford that. Cubs can't afford that for a 5th starter. Cubs can't afford that.
Jed Hoyer is a fucking moron.
I would like to tie something in here, if I can. I know we talked about this about a month or 2 ago, talking about anniversaries. And maybe if something significant enough happened on this day, we'd bring it up. This will also be something that will tie into what we've talked about in terms of pitchers and how much of a bunch of fucking pansy-ass pussies they are now. On this day, November the 13th, as we tape this episode of Sports Frenzy 2.0.
On Spotify, Good Pods, Pocket Cast, Apple, Overcast, CastBox, Amazon, Audible, and iHeart Sports Frenzy, baby.
Otherwise known as iHeartRadio. 29 years ago today, the great Greg Maddux won his 4th straight Cy Young.
Never happen again.
Let me point out some numbers to you. He was 19-2 with an ERA of 1.63. Oh, by the way.
How many innings did he pitch?
Oh, this was the season that was shortened by a strike. So there was only 144 games, yet he still finished 19-2.
And how many innings pitched? Not listed?
I don't have that.
Okay.
I don't have that information. But
I guarantee it was north of 180.
How can any of the pitchers in this day and age look at themselves in the mirror and then look at the numbers for Greg Maddux? I looked at his career stats. I looked at his career stats after this, after I saw that today was the anniversary of his 4th straight Cy Young, and I looked at his career numbers, and I'm like, my God. And we're not talking about 60s and 70s.
No.
We're talking about late 80s, 90s, into the 2000s.
Yeah. Nobody is going to come close to those kinds of numbers anymore.
You idiots in these front offices, you stat geeks, you analytic geeks, are destroying the game of baseball. It is
You
not...
and your stupid fucking pitch labs can go suck it.
Please, is anybody watching the film on Greg Maddux? Is anybody watching to see how he pitched? To see how he threw a baseball to come up with year after year after year of 15-plus wins. The man only won 20 games, I believe, twice.
Yeah.
In his entire, but he still ended up with, 350 wins, roughly? Give or take a few?
Yeah.
Because he was so goddamn consistent. 15, 16, 18 wins,
And
19 wins.
on those dominant Braves teams where he had the offense to back him up.
But it's still, career ERA just above 3.
Yeah, that's insane.
But is anybody learning from the past?
No. Why would you?
What's the old saying? If we don't learn from the past mistakes, we're doomed to...
Repeat them.
Yes.
Definition of insanity, doing the same thing over.
But we're not.
Expecting different
In baseball,
results.
we're not. We're trying to do something different.
Yeah.
Why
are
should we
you
learn
fucking
from success?
Yeah. If it's not broken, don't fix it.
There you go. Well, good news for the Cubs. Yeah, great. So we got to play the Dodgers overseas to start the season next year.
Oh, yay.
But the good news is Shohei Ohtani's surgery for his torn labrum will prevent him from at least pitching against the Cubs in that series. Woo! Yeah, that gives me a lot of relief. With that crappy-ass lineup, the Cubs are going to roll out again.
Yeah. Same tired crap.
I was seeing, well, they could trade Bellinger. They're talking about trading Nico Horner. I'm like, come on! Are you going to kill me?
Trade Hap.
A guy who was in the running for the White Sox head coaching job, I believe. Dodgers first base coach Clayton McCullough will now be the head coach manager of the Miami Marlins. Good luck with that.
Good luck.
Good luck with that. Great to see that so many fans turned out on November the 10th at the Great American Ballpark for the Pete Rose visitation.
Very cool.
Still disgusting beyond belief to me that Major League Baseball will not put him in the Hall of Fame, but they will. Now
Posthumously,
they will.
now
They
yes.
will. And then, there is a whole bunch of issues and problems with the Tampa Bay Rays.
Tropicana Field will not be anywhere close to ready for the 2025 season after all the hurricane damage.
Well, and here's the dilemma. Here's the issue. The repair bill is looking like it's going to be $55.7 million.
Oof.
As you said, it will not be ready even if they approve that until 2026.
At which point isn't their new stadium going to be ready?
There's the other part of the conundrum. Do you pay? Does St. Petersburg pay $55.7 million to repair the Tropicana Field, for 2 seasons, 2026, 2027? Now, with all the hurricane damage from this past year, they're starting to balk on funding the new stadium. So are we going to see...
So why are you putting a dome?
So are we going to see them say, okay, we'll fork over $56 million.
But we're not forking over the new stadium.
Right. We'll fix the trop, but then you're not getting a new stadium. Or is it neither? We're not going to pay the $56 million because they are supposed to implode Tropicana Field after the 2027 season.
Yeah. So why would you...
They're not keeping it.
Now, does that $55 million in repairs include a new dome? Or just the interior to get it ready?
No, they will fix the dome.
No, don't waste the money on the dome. You don't need it. Why waste the money on the dome?
Because
it's
you have
pointless.
to waterproof the entire stadium. The stadium is not built to be waterproofed from all the rain. So there's no drainage system in the trop. You either fix the dome or you fix the dome, waterproof the stadium, and then don't do the new stadium.
God, that's so...
I'm telling you, this is a
cluster.
Why is it with Major League Baseball they can't do anything right? If baseball was so popular, you would think teams, cities would be screaming, "Oh, please give me a baseball team. Give me a baseball team."
Yeah, no.
We still don't know for sure, 100% for sure, that the A's are moving to Vegas.
Yeah, that hasn't been approved.
And now we don't know what's going to happen with the Rays. We don't know what's happening with the White Sox.
No, are they going to be sold? Are they not? And what are they going to get for Garrett Crochet? Why are you trading him? Why aren't you building around him?
This is why. Baseball is a mess.
It sucks.
And
you've got cheap-ass, stupid owners on one side, and you've got the overblown wallets who will spend to infinity on the other.
Right. So if you think your sport is healthy, and we've said this over the years, if you think your sport is healthy because you have 5 or 6 teams that you claim that everybody wants to see, but the other teams aren't competitive,
then what good is your sport?
It's why the NFL is king. Why is the NFL king? Because even if you're the lowly Panthers or the lowly Bears,
you have a shot to turn it around quickly.
Yes.
Everybody's playing on the same money.
We're seeing record low ratings in the NBA right now. Ha! I think that deserves a "we fucking told you so."
And how many injuries now are coming out for the star players?
That's okay. That's where we're headed next. We are heading over to basketball, kids. All right, so basketball.
Whoop-de-doo.
As loath as we are to talk about basketball, the NBA season is going on right now. And excitement beyond all belief. The NBA in-season tournament has begun, Dave.
Who cares?
Well,
The
ratings
season just started.
Ratings are low. So somehow I take a little bit of happiness in that. I'm not happy about my Magic, but that's because of Paolo Banchero's injury. But they're treading water. They're 6-6.
7-6. I've got.
Oh, they must have won tonight?
Yes, they must have. So I have them sitting at. Boom, boom, boom.
Now, of course, the Cavaliers are the big story in the NBA. They are 12-0. If Dave's numbers are correct, then he's going to screw up my whole thing where I was going to say that only 2 teams in the East.
Yes, they beat the Pacers tonight as we tape this.
There you go. They were behind, actually.
94-90.
So the Magic, I believe, become only the 3rd team in the East over 500. Breaking news here on November the 13th. Eat. Cavaliers 12-0. Celtics 9-3.
They won, so they're 13-0.
See, I can't keep up. I just can't keep up with all this crap. 13-0, the Cavaliers.
Yep,
How about that?
leading the world.
Who needs LeBron James? Glad to hear the Magic won again. Because after Banchero got hurt, they went on a losing streak, and now back home. Good to see that they are righting the ship and playing very well. Bronny James, we have to talk about Bronny James.
Do we have to?
Well, we have to talk about how the Lakers are kissing his ass.
He should be in the developmental league.
Oh, he is, Dave. He is in the G League, but with qualifications. Bronny James will play for the South Bay Lakers in the G League when they're playing at home. But when they go on the road, Bronny's not going to travel with them.
Oh, fuck that shit.
Then he stays home to play with the Lakers.
No, that's bullshit. That is absolute bullshit.
Oh, I didn't realize you'd react like this.
Fuck that little piece of work.
Yeah. Isn't that amazing?
Nepo baby doesn't have... No, fuck that shit.
Yeah, he will not travel with the South Bay Lakers. He will stay back and play with the Lakers. Good luck
making friends. Good luck.
So he's going to basically do back and forth whatever works best for him and Daddy.
You know what? Screw you, LeBron. You're doing your kid a disservice with this bullshit. He needs to travel with that team, learn what it's like to play on the road, sack up, man up, and be his own person, not babied by you maniacal egomaniac twit.
He's playing pretty well from what I saw his stats. I think he's averaging 1 point a game.
Woo!
NBA stats.
That is an absolute travesty. He's going to be lucky.
It's amazing to me, the ego.
Yeah.
The ego that he's willing to destroy his son's life. He thinks he's doing him a favor.
He's ruining any credibility that he could possibly have.
He's not letting this kid earn his own legacy.
No, he's not. He's destroying it. He's destroying his son. Nobody's going to want to play with him.
Well, no, he's not going to play. He's not going to be good.
No, he's going to suck.
But what do we know?
It's the developmental league for a reason. He should be playing every fucking night. developing his game. He is not NBA ready in any way, shape,
And
or form.
I don't understand how this jumping back and forth is going to help at all.
It's not. It's breeding contempt.
Now, this was a fear I had. Everybody knows, as a Magic fan, I love Paolo Banchero, and I am extremely happy, even with the injury this year, that he was drafted number 1 by the Magic. They could have drafted Chet Holmgren, who went, I believe, number 2 to the OKC Thunder. This was my concern, because he was tall and he was
skinny.
thin.
He wasn't going to be able to stand up to the pounding.
And he was putting up a ton of great statistics. Now he takes a hard fall, fractures his pelvis, out for a bare minimum of 8 to 12 weeks. The best they can say is they expect him back at some point this season.
Wow.
But his frame
He's
can't
not
take
built.
that.
He is not built to take the pounding and the beating that the game demands.
Yep. So this is, again, why I was glad. Everybody was saying, well, the Magic could take Holmgren one. No. Nope. Paolo will come back from a torn oblique.
Yeah.
Fracturing your pelvis?
That's, no, not good.
That, to me, sounds like something that's going to end up being a recurring issue.
Yeah. Good luck with that.
And again, it has to do with his frame. He's too tall, too thin. How many tall, thin guys have really succeeded in the NBA? You've got to have some meat on your bones. You have got to be able, like a Shaquille O'Neal, if you're going to be 7 foot, sustain the pounding, the beating.
Yeah, you
the
got to have
falls.
some muscle and some heft to you.
Yep. Now, of course, now we got to start talking about college sports and college basketball.
Why?
Well, because we're trying to do a service here to our listeners, Dave.
Oh, is that what it's about?
So early on here, the Hurricanes are 2-0. The Notre Dame Fighting Irish are 2-0. Oh, and I did not mention, I'm sorry, going back to the NBA for just a second, as much as I despise and hate him, thoughts and prayers to Greg Popovich after suffering a mild stroke. That is why he has not been on the San Antonio Spurs bench.
Yep, we don't like him, but we don't want any ill to befall him.
Yeah, I don't know if he's ever made the plane of doom.
No. Close, but not quite. But
him and Steve Kerr, yeah,
they're close. But hope he does well.
But like I said, going back to college sports, college basketball, Notre Dame 2-0, Miami 2-0. But the big story, of course, is Florida, the Gators, who really haven't been all that relevant in college basketball since Billy Donovan. But for the wrong reasons, now they're in the headlines again. As their head coach, Todd Golden, still coaching, has not been suspended, has not been taken off the job, even though he's in the midst of a Title IX stalking inquiry.
Ooh, that's not good.
Yes, as he has been accused by multiple women of cyber stalking, harassment.
Why is he still around? He should, under investigation, he should at least be suspended as it plays out.
Yeah, I'm with you. I don't understand how he's allowed
in this day and age.
Yeah.
I know we do not like to go guilty until proven innocent. But in this regard, in stuff like this, he needs to not be in the public eye. He needs to be away.
Public institution, number one. Multiple accusations, number two.
Yeah. he needs to be suspended.
So we will follow up on this story
Oof.
when there is more information. But yes, as of tonight, and you can tell how up to date I am as Dave is telling me, the Magic is not 6-6; they're 7-6. The Cavs are 13-0. So I'm obviously not up on everything, but we will update you when we get further information. And oh, by the way, Kansas is still your number one team early on here in the AP poll.
Whoop-de-doo.
Hey, Dave, you want to tell the kids about the Blackhawks?
They're not dead last. They're sitting at 6-9-1 with 13 points. Still not good. 17 games behind the Winnipeg Jets.
Best start. See, now that's the problem. You're dealing with the best start in NHL history.
Yeah. But still, it's tough.
15-1.
Yeah, that's...
And this is a team that they were talking about relocating again.
What? No, leave Winnipeg alone. Ugh.
Again, attendance issues.
I don't get it.
I thought you'd be a little happier for Jeremy Roenick.
I have not been following hockey.
Jeremy Roenick inducted into the Hockey Hall of Fame.
Good for him. Good for JR. Well deserved.
Now I want to go back to college sports for just a second. And then we'll move on to Moments of Silence and our contestants.
You don't want to preview the big boxing match Friday night? The exhibition?
I heard about the details. It's not a boxing match.
No, it's an exhibition is what it is.
The gloves are padded.
Yeah, because
shorter rounds,
Jake
shorter
Paul doesn't want to
fights.
get his ass kicked.
We'll have it for you next week. Trust me.
Yep. We're going to be watching.
We'll have it for you next week.
We'll be watching Tyson Paul.
I'm glad you brought it up. I am. But yeah, I heard a little bit about it today. I heard him talking about...
Jake Paul does not want to get hurt.
Yeah, they're talking about the differences between what they're going to be doing on Netflix this weekend versus
what an actual boxing match would be. Again, it's Paul doing an exhibition, trying to legitimize himself as an athlete.
What? His brother's an athlete, right?
An athletic supporter.
Former what? U.S. champion in WWE?
Yeah. How long did his reign run?
The problem was he never fought.
There you go. Yeah.
Like we used to complain all the time about Roman Reigns never fighting.
Yeah.
He was just as bad. So. Now, let me ask you this, though, before we move on. I don't want to make this a dumbass thing because I don't know all the details, but I just want to... I've been wanting to bounce this off of you. And then we'll move on.
Okay.
Maybe I'm reading too much into this, but months ago, we talked about the Notre Dame swimming program.
Yes, and their internal betting scandal.
Yes, and how they shut down the program for the year.
Yeah.
And then they're going to say, we're going to do an internal review to determine if we're going forward. Maybe this ties into what we were talking about earlier. Maybe Notre Dame cut swimming out completely to save money to give to the football players, right?
Potential.
But here's something that bothers me. You got a two-time Olympic medalist, Chris Giuliano, the star of the Notre Dame men's swimming team. The reason why I can't make him a dumbass is because there is no definite proof that he was involved in the gambling. But he's allowed to transfer. He's going to Texas. So now he gets to go scot-free to Texas and resume his career. leaving behind a program in shambles. Did he have something to do with it? Did he not?
If he had something to do with it, the shame should follow him, and Texas should still hold him accountable.
So that's why I didn't want to put him in as a dumbass, but I wanted to point it out, bring it out in the light. If this kid, I find it hard to
fully
believe.
involved in it, then shame on Texas for letting him compete.
Yep. Just
Because if he did it at Notre Dame, he's going to try and do the same damn thing there if he was one of the ringleaders.
I would have thought we would have heard more from him in terms of, oh, I cannot believe this happened and I didn't know about it.
Yeah, he was very quiet.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
All right, moments of silence. Sticking with Notre Dame here.
Yep. Former coach from, what was it, 81 through 85, Jerry Faust. Not a very successful coaching career at Notre Dame, but he was one of the most successful high school head football coaches ever when he was in Ohio.
Was it Moeller High School?
Moeller High School, yep.
Yep. Well, that was the big experiment, was to bring him in after what, Dan Devine?
Yeah, he came in after Devine. And it unfortunately did not work. But damn, was he a hell of a high school coach. One of the greatest of all time.
And speaking of another great coach, but this time the college ranks, and then, of course, a little bit of
NFL
NFL
experience, not success.
John Robinson, of course.
Yep. Headed USC forever. A small stint with the Rams before going back to USC. So thoughts and prayers to their families and friends.
And yes, it is that time, Dave. What do we do now?
It's time to pivot. Pivot to find out which of these contestants will be the Red Foreman Dumbass of the Week.
Yes, and again, I'm telling Dave here, I'm saying, after you got mad at me 2 weeks ago because you start talking about one of my dumbasses, I have extra dumbasses.
I learned I'm not bringing
No, I don't want that. That's why I set up extra dumbasses. Now I have 6.
Well, then pare it down.
No, I cannot. I will go through them quickly, though.
All right.
All right, we'll start off with somebody that we like making a very, very dumbass move. This was the one I really thought you might have brought up earlier on the show. A guy we would probably, about 7-8 years ago, love to have as a Bears head coach. Jack Del Rio.
Oh, what did Jack do?
Jack Del Rio arrested. Now, right now, he was serving as a consultant for Luke Fickell at the University of Wisconsin. Gets arrested in Madison, Wisconsin on an OWI with a crash involved.
Oh, Jack. Not good.
Resigns his position. Crash happened on November the 8th.
Well, at least he took responsibility and walked away on his own.
Yeah, but you know how...
But still, it's not a good
Yeah, Sports Frenzy, we have friends
frown upon that.
Close people to us who have been dramatically and devastatingly impacted by drunk drivers.
Yes.
So we don't tolerate that here. Jack Del Rio, dumbass
move.
Tyreek Hill. All right, you're having a bad year.
Personally and professionally.
Quarterback was injured for a while, so okay. But now he's been back, and you still haven't had a great couple of games with him back. Now, he does an extensive interview before this past Monday night's game with the Rams. And he says, well, I've been fighting through a wrist injury all year, and it really, really got aggravated with that arrest
Oh my God.
and the police taking me to the ground.
Dumbass. Let it go, Tariq. Let it go.
Yeah, here's an idea.
It was your fault for being a dumbass in that situation.
They're gonna end up suing, I guarantee. Him and his agent, Drew Rosenhaus, I believe, are gonna end up suing, claiming that the police down there in Miami-Dade County, I believe it was Dade,
Hurt his career,
Yeah.
or hurt his season, whatever.
I can never remember if Hard Rock Stadium is actually still in Miami-Dade.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Eric Spoelstra, let's stay in Miami. Let's stay with Miami. Let's go over from football to basketball. Let's go to the Heat. Now,
The usually squeaky clean Eric Spoelstra?
I was going to say Eric Spoelstra is one of the
He's
top
kind of one of
3
the...
or 4 best NBA coaches of the last 20 years.
Yeah, he's usually
Well,
solid.
He didn't do anything off the court. Okay, he didn't make a dumb political statement like Popovich or Kerr. But on the court, wow. Eric Spoelstra in Michigan playing the Pistons last night
Uh-oh.
with Jalen Rose in attendance called a timeout when he didn't have any left.
No! No!
In Michigan, with Jalen Rose in attendance at a Pistons game.
Wow.
How about the bitter basketball gods and their irony there?
Oh. That's a no-no.
Now, he was mad at his players because they were pulling some boneheaded stuff. Too many guys on the court where he kind of just reacted.
Natural reaction without thinking.
Yeah. But still,
in
Michigan.
Ouch.
With Jalen Rose in attendance. And you know what? The Pistons actually might finally be decent.
They could be. We'll see. It's still early.
Our buddy Jamie, our unofficial 9th member of Sports Frenzy, pointed this out to us. Florida, all the Florida professional and college football programs, teams on Saturday and Sunday this past weekend, 0-11.
Yep, the Dolphins win on Monday night, avoided the sweep.
And then I think one school was on a bye.
Yeah.
Everybody else lost.
That's bad.
So, state of Florida, in sports, in football.
Dumbasses.
We've had a lot of problems with Diamond Sports. Of course, their bankruptcy proceedings and how they're screwing over all these cities. Can't watch your local teams play. Then they're trying. Well, they've got the solution.
Of course they do. Charge more money.
Well, starting in December, for your local team. Of course, we're in NHL and NBA seasons right now in full swing. They will let you watch on a per game basis. How much you think they're going to charge per game?
$10.
Oh no, it's a bargain price of $7 per game.
Yeah, fuck you, Diamond, you greedy assholes. Do not rely on the fans to fix your fuck up. That's just disgusting and egregious.
NHL and NBA teams play 2 to 3 games a week, minimum.
Yeah. No.
$7 per game to watch your local team.
That's ridiculous.
Yep, they're definitely trying to get the fans to bail them out of their bankruptcy.
Nope.
Then finally, your one final contestant, your one final nominee. We're going to talk tennis. The tennis channels. John Worth has been suspended. Why? He's been suspended indefinitely. I don't know who the dumbass is here. Is it the tennis channel? Is it John?
Was he not wearing pants?
No, he made a hot mic comment. Again, make sure the microphones are off. About one of the top women tennis players in the world, Barbora Krejcikova. Now, she's won majors. She's definitely, again, one of the top players in the world. What kind of comment do you think he made about her off mic that got him suspended indefinitely?
She could serve my balls?
No, nothing sexual.
No?
No. He commented on the fact she has a big forehead.
Oh, come on!
And he got
Seriously?
he had to apologize, supplicate himself.
No! You're pointing out the obvious. Come on!
He said something derogatory about her forehead. And so he got suspended indefinitely by the tennis.
God.
And they had, I'm sorry, I should not be judging any of these wonderful tennis players by their appearance.
Oh my God. This is getting out of control.
So that's why I said, I don't know who the dumbass is here. Is
Oh
it him?
my God.
Or is it the tennis channel?
That's a double.
All right, Dave. So it comes down to you.
Diamond Sports.
Judge, jury, execute. You going Diamond?
I'm going Diamond for their bastard activities.
I don't like Diamond either. I don't either. I hate Tyreek Hill. I'm going Tyreek Hill. I can't stand that pussy blaming the police
for his...
After we've all seen the video where he would not roll down his window.
Where he wouldn't comply with instructions. Where he was acting the asshole.
And now he's going to come out and basically set the foundation for a lawsuit. Because they exacerbated my wrist injury.
Bull crap.
Here's an idea, Tyreek. Why don't you comply with the police and stop putting your dick in every woman who shakes your hand? How about that?
Idiot.
Fucktard's got how many different kids by how many different women? I can't stand him. I can't. Phenomenal talent. Can't stand him.
I have no issue with that at all.
And that's going to do it. That's going to do it for Sports Frenzy 2.0 here on November the 13th, 2024.
Don't forget, Saturday morning, your hangover cure.
Dave and I will be reviewing REO Speedwagon and Loverboy live at the Van Andel Arena. I've got a very special aside, a very special bonus commentary point for Dave on that one that he does not know about. We will also review the full first season of Teacup, the full first season of The Penguin.
Yep.
I have a special movie review to wrap up.
Yep,
the X trilogy.
Maxine.
I will be reviewing Maxine.
I do not have a movie or book.
It's okay.
But that's all right.
It's okay.
We will be the fine.
Yep. We got a whole bunch of other fun stuff.
We got a little bit to talk about the vampires.
Yep. And we have a full slate of dumbasses again to go through. Post-election.
Yep.
Dumbassery. So you do not want to miss your Saturday morning hangover cure coming up on November the 16th. But until then, he's your Uncle Dave.
He's your Uncle Kev.
We love you. We're glad the band is back together. Of course, the holidays coming up. Who knows how long that's going to last.
Crap will happen.
We do have concert reviews coming up at the end of November into December, so you don't want to miss those. But until then, until this Saturday, until next Thursday morning for more sports politically incorrect commentary. He's your Uncle Dave once again.
He's your Uncle Kev.
Say goodnight to the kids, Dave.
Good night to the kids, Dave.